It is the 41st millennium. For 10,000 years, the Imperium has dominated the galaxy. There is only war. Every human soul, from the most highborn lord to the most basic servitor, is dedicated to the service of the God Emperor of mankind. The Imperium's battle fleets and armies, from the conscripted soldiers of the Astra Militarum to the elite space marines of the Adeptus Astartes, keep humanity safe from alien threats and cosmic horrors beyond imagining. But there is another war. It is the one in which I serve.
Again, commence war translation.
Okay, I'm actually kind of glad to see them actually going through warp, because that's one of the very few things that I know about Warhammer.
And fleet engagements. It is waged by the dedicated agents of the Imperial Inquisition. It is fought in the cities and hives of the Imperium. In the back streets and the forgotten sublevels. In hive cities like Tertian.
We are surrounded! Don't get overrun! Through this door!
Because anything Warhammer
For if the Inquisition fails,
Space Marine kind of showed, it was the idea that, like, there's just constant combat going on in every direction. But they don't always
falls with us.
like the Imperium doesn't always expend resources in any direction. They just let the fight happen unless they consider there's a good reason to go there. So yeah, welcome, greetings and salutations, and welcome to Warhammer 40,000 Darktide, in which I continue kind of like circling around the fiction that is the Warhammer universe. So far, I've largely experienced the Warhammer universe only through video games, which I suppose is an odd way. I don't know is that an odd way to experience that kind of a series fiction. I'll accept the privacy policy. And the ULA. And stand. Like, I wonder if that is an odd way to experience any sort of fiction that has multimedia. But so far I've played Warhammer Vermintide 2 and Space Marine. And from what I've learned from playing these games is what I already know is the blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull throne, and don't mess around with chaos energy, because that's how you get demons. That's just how you get demons. You don't want demons all up in your shit. Like, but the warp travel is interesting, and also it presents those questions. It's like there's this constant war going on. Like, okay, I don't know much in regards to the war between orcs and man. Like, it seems to have been going on for an eternity, assuming fantasy Warhammer and Warhammer 40k are tied together, in which that case, I don't actually know. But the horrible monstrosities, like the demons that emerge from the chaos, how much of those demons are already entering the world on their own, and how many of those demons are entering the world because of the Imperium's experiments into chaos energy. Like, if the Imperium never solved space travel through their warp methodology, which actually uses chaos energy. Like, clearly going through warp, as depicted in that cutscene just now, is not a good time for the people traveling. Like, that's not turbulence. Those are monsters trying to break into your ship. All right, well, but first, let's make a class. Will we be a veteran? A trooper of the Astra Militarum? Veterans are valued and skilled seasoned warriors for the Emperor of mankind. Let's see, blah, blah, blah. Ranged weak spot damage. Enter range stance for 5 seconds. When in range stance, you instantly equip your ranged weapon. Deal plus 25% ranged damage and 25% ranged weak spot damage. So exciting. Zealot are fanatically pious warriors whose rage and fervor in the Emperor's name leads them to places those of lesser faith would fear to tread. Okay, this is like your soldier class. I've read a little bit about the classes, so I'd have some idea of what the hell I'm getting into. I want to say the Zealot is a melee class. Dash forward, replenishing 50% toughness. Your next melee hit gains 25% damage and is guaranteed critical. Now, to be fair, like every class is going to have to deal with melee, considering the wave after wave of their own men that are going to be sent at you. Two-handed chainswords and flamers. Combat shovel and plasma gun. A psyker. I think these are the ones that explode heads. I've also watched a little bit of footage of this game, like when it came out on the PC. Psychic mutants, or psychers, draw power from the Immaterium to fuel their formidable mental abilities. They are viewed with suspicion as witches throughout the Imperium. I can see that. Like, how do you maintain an idea that you're going to be leading an anti-heretical army, and then there's these guys that show up manipulating chaos energy, like, unleaves a wave of warp energy. Like, they specifically manipulate said energies with their mind. 4 swords and 4 staves. So that sounds like... Okay, so they got basic melee weapons, but they have... they rely on their abilities for ranged attacks. Ogrons are massive, powerful abhumans. I'm emphasizing the abs in abhuman, often used as shock troopers for the Astra Militarium. They are strong and loyal, but have limited intelligence. So, big, dumb, shoot gun. Alright, I'm between... Let's say you got that. I'm between this... I feel as though the Psyker might be a little bit trickier for myself as a new player. Like, the Veteran is probably the most straightforward. Replenish 0.75% ammo for you and allies in coherency whenever any of you kill an elite. 0.75%? Can peek above cover while crouching when using aim. I highly doubt cover is going to be very useful in this game. Like, how much time am I really going to spend in cover? So we got some images of them throwing... Ooh, he's got a cool revolver, though. Does everybody get cool revolvers? I do appreciate a cool revolver. The revolver by itself might have sold me. Like, I spent most of Destiny and Destiny 2 just shooting things with the revolver. What about you, Zealot? What does your gameplay loop kind of look like? So we've got the axe. We're just stabbing people with the axe. And we got the rifle. We got a little bit of charge there. Oh, that's the dash for the chastise the wicked. Stun grenade. This is an interesting way to kind of depict these characters' abilities, especially since, like, without having played the game. And then the hammer, which does look pretty cool. I'm not gonna disparage the hammer. But a lot of melee options. I'm not exactly particularly thrilled with just melee. Essentially, it creates more towards that experience that Vermintide 2 was about. Where you're just constantly just flailing your weapon around at other characters. Like, even if, like, shooting guys with guns is kind of like the more standard gameplay experience, like, this is a little bit more of a twist because you're doing the brain bursting. And you can see a little bit of it going on. There we go. Which does feel kind of overpowered, but I don't necessarily like everything else just being... So I'm going to go with the veteran. Huh. Homeworld. I don't know how this affects anything. The Mobian domain is full of established worlds, burgeoning settlements, and far-flung colonies. Even though you've been on the move for a long time, there's still one place that you can call home. Is it Crucis? Considered the second world of the Mobian domain, Crucis is a large shrine world and a popular destination for pilgrimages. Messalina Gloriana, a heavily forested moon that serves as a minor shrine world. Messalina Gloriana has few resources and low population, but is strategically important since the fall of nearby Comaris. Rokhyria, a small agri-world that produces intensively farmed and mass-harvested grain crops. Rokhyrians are the butt of many jokes, considered backwards by other Mobians, and yet they are hardworking and honest to a fault. That sounds kind of boring. Branx Magna, a thriving industrial world. Branx Magna is the most densely populated in the Mobian domain. Its teeming billions manning its continent, spanning manufactorums night and day. Incron, and that's something that was kind of like brought up in Space Marine, is the entire idea of just like manufactorums that are so large that they just span the entire planet. The entire planet is dedicated to the industry. Incron, an oceanic world, the populace of Incron inhabit vast hive islands. Incron is the Mobian domain's main naval depot. Cadia, formerly the Imperium's most famous fortress world, its fall marked the beginning of the era Indomitus, the Dark Imperium. So my home is Dust. A small, grim mining world known for its hellish conditions, which produces a famously hardy and dour populace. Pavane, relatively newly colonized. Pavane is already a self-sustaining world rich in natural resources, whose population is expanding quickly. I kind of like Incron, the oceanic world. Let's go with that. There's more going on with the character creation than I was expecting. One's character is defined by childhood experience, or so they say. Like so many others in the grim darkness of the 41st millennium, you had tough upbringing, but unlike many, you got through it with scars to prove it. Let's see, a Navis Imperialis conscript. The Imperial Navy provides fleet support for the vast armies of the Imperium, while its pilots, captains, and admirals often garner fame and glory as heroes of far-flung wars. The backbone of the Navis Imperialis is its veritable legion of unrated workers who man space docks, galleys, and holds across the galaxy. So you basically were an every worker in the Navy. Tide Forager. Despite the abundance of fish, it is dangerous to ply the waters, for amidst the floating refuse dwell plentiful, highly aggressive predators, always willing to take a bite of an unwary fisherman. Militia Lackey. The pressed youth of a planetary militia rarely achieve any rank, nor garner any glory. If they're lucky, they might learn some survival skills while serving as trench runners or ammo monkeys. Sludger. Most of a hive world's potable water is imported from agri-worlds, but supplemented by huge purifier stations, which collect water from underground streams, polluted rivers, or atmospheric condensers. Given the enormous high levels of radiation industrial pollution topside, purifiers run non-stop to ensure the water supply falls within acceptable toxicity parameters. I live on a water planet. I can't do that. Leech Harvester. The sump leech is a predatory worm that thrives in polluted, brackish water. It has pharmaceutical value, although the poorest communities also harvest them for food. I'm going to go with conscript. All right. When we were a kid, growing up though, there were a lot of options for folk like you growing up, but you had to find a way to overcome the trials of your youth, by fair means or foul. Were you an enlisted? The militia are the first line of planetary defense, and serve as fertile recruiting ground for the large and better equipped forces of the Astra Militarum. Or Hive Ganger. Hive gangs are territorial, criminal organizations, and run all manner of rackets in the lower depths of the hive worlds. The most hard-bitten gangers are highly sought after as recruits for the Astra Militarum. How is it that being an enlisted soldier and being a criminal are both career paths to the Astra Militarum? Oh, so you decided to go with the law? How about a career in the Astra Militarum? Oh, you decided to go into crime. How about a career in the Astra Militarum? Although most would rather die in a pit fight than serve the Emperor as a soldier. Comfort through discipline. When searching for new recruits, the Astra Militarum will take anyone able-bodied, but those with discipline and mental fortitude make the most reliable soldiers for the crucible of war, and are often earmarked as the officers of the future. The Astra Militarum is a formidable force, and a favored battle tactic is to engage in an enemy in a war of attrition. It takes a constant influx of new recruits to replenish the casualties suffered in the maelstrom of meat grinder battles. We just gotta send wave after wave of our own men until they run out of bullets. Hive Guide. With level upon level, hives are labyrinthian and ever-changing as old access routes are closed and new ones opened. Without a guide, even people who've lived in a hive their entire lives can become hopelessly lost if they stray too far from their district. Witness to a crime. To ensure none escape justice, the enforcers in the Mobian domain often round up and punish those who witness but fail to report a crime. Even when the witness withheld information for the fear of their lives, no exception is made. Justice must always be served. An unpaid debt. In most hive cities, debt collectors thrive in an industry built to exploit the impoverished and vulnerable. Bailiffs, strong arms, and even bounty hunters are often employed to procure what is owed to immoral moneylenders. Wow, it seems as though all of that money could possibly be used to make those people in debt live. Oh, no, we gotta pay the We gotta pay the bounty hunters to catch the people who owe money. I'm going to go with what seems like the most interesting choice. Hive Guide. How much of this story shows up as a... You've been through a lot. The struggle you call life demanded it. But through all hardships and all the triumphs, one incident stands out in your memory which has shaped you more than anything. Was it recruitment by the Astra Militarum, in which the planet's militia, hive gangs, or even workforce provide fertile recruiting grounds? For some, service in the Imperial Guard is the only way to improve their lot in life, if only briefly. Because then you'll be dead. That's what happens. You'll just be dead. Saved by the Sarge in the Mobian regiments of the Astra Militarum, it is commonplace for the survivors of battles to swear oaths to avenge their fallen brethren no matter the cost. Your Sarge gave her life to save you. That must be honored. A field promotion. The soldiers who show sufficient primus and leadership skills may be promoted to a non-commissioned officer. Invaluable in the field, these squad leaders are expected to lead from the front, holding their troops together in the face of terrifying odds. A duel. Despite attempts by authorities to crack down on them, honor duels remain a popular if deadly method of settling disputes throughout the Mobian domain. I would imagine that they would be the Imperium would be against duels, largely because it damages their resources. It's not because they feel like the strong survive, that kind of thing. Like, if one person shoots another person, that other person is now not available to do their job. Warp travel is notoriously dangerous, and even routine trips can be temperamental. Losing months, years, decades, or even centuries during warp jumps is not uncommon, especially when warp anomalies or violent storms tear at the Immaterium. Event Horizon much? Decorated for bravery, the galactic north of the domain is dotted with feral worlds, the site of constant battles to hold back the Darktide. They said the name of the game. It was in these fringe wars you found your courage and purpose. So basically, like a similar thing would be like, in Mass Effect, if you're a war survivor, and having been the survivor of a coup. Elite formation. You quickly proved to be a capable soldier and found yourself recruited into a storied regiment. After many grueling battles across a dozen worlds, you earned your veteran status. Great things were expected of you. Recruited sounds kind of boring, like, I got the job. I was saved by Sarge doesn't sound bad. I'm gonna go with Saved by Sarge. Like, I'm doing this for Sarge. All right. Now, this game is in first person, right? So it's like, how often will I see my face? Like, how often will I see my character's face? This person has seen things. I think I'm gonna go with that one. Hairstyles. So many bald choices. Or is the hairstyle not particularly loading up? Oh, it doesn't even show up in the little icon. Like, it gives you these little icons here to kind of get an idea of what, but they're all just the bald. Oof, no. I think I might go with the side shave. The side shave seems like best choice so far. You know, let's just go with the side shave. Facial hair. I don't think... Oh, it's kind of like loading up your face at the time? Was I bald previously? Okay, those eyebrows are fine. Face tattoos. How many tattoos are we going to dedicate ourselves to the Empire, to the God Emperor? What does that say? Rejoice in thy service? Duty is for... Okay. Would you like to know how I got these scars? Probably would want some tattoos rather than no tattoos. Like, this doesn't seem like the kind of universe you live in and then you just don't have any tattoos. Oh, body tattoos as well. Yeah, sure, why not? Nope, no. Wrong way. Like, how much does this... If you're standing next to nothing, like, how does this affect your actual height? Like, there's like nothing for me to reference.
Just another day in the Imperial Guard. Only, I'm not even part of the Guard any longer. Not since that business with the Commissar, the Court-Martial and the holding cell. Now I'm part of this merry band of maniacs, for better or worse. Still figuring out what that means exactly. But most of it seems to be putting the booting on the Emperor's enemies, and not getting executed for meeting the wrong stair funny. So I guess I'm better off. At least. So long as the ammo and grub doesn't run out.
Another day, another set of useless bloody orders from some useless bloody carker sitting safe in planetary orbit, while I'm down here in the mud, trying not to get my block knocked off. Just my carking luck. I mean,
is carking a derogatory term in the
was it? If they were needed
Warhammer
for the
universe?
war effort, then the quartermaster would have locked the door, or at least placed a guard, wouldn't he? That was just the start. Nothing goes right for me. And the latest thing, the one that got me here. Don't want to talk about it.
I watched the world die. 8,000 years of defiance gone in an eye blink. With it went some of the finest soldiers I had the honor to serve alongside. Not for glory, not for victory, not even for defiance. But because sooner or later, the void swallows everything. I learned something that day. No world, no bestie, and maybe no faith is impregnable. The agents of the enemy are everywhere. Watching, plotting, waiting. Only thing to be done with heresy is to root it out with fire and steel.
Okay, I feel as if I was making that melee character, I forgot the name of the class already, it has been so long, definitely go with the cutthroat for that character.
Alright, don't give the heretics a fragging inch!
Beats sitting around in a jail cell, don't it?
Stick with me, and we'll get through this.
Let's see. Dereliction of duty. Ooh, this is where we are a prisoner of the Imperium, convicted of a crime you may or may not have committed. But guilt is irrelevant at this point. Innocence proves nothing. Were we punished for dereliction of duty? Insubordination? Real or implied to Imperial authorities, and enough to earn demotion, prison, or death. Misplaced faith, so powerful are the upper figures of the Adeptus Ministorum that to draw their ire by questioning their faith or worldly habits is to invite a death sentence or sedition. I'm gonna go with insubordination. Like, I'm gonna go with the idea that, like, my character was not necessarily insubordinate, but somebody just didn't like her. Justilla. We're going to go with our usual of malice. You were born on Incron. You spent your youth as a press-ganged laborer in the Imperial Navy, rarely setting foot planet-side. After years of exploring the myriad tunnels, levels, and secrets of the Hive, you were able to earn a living serving as a guide for merchants and travelers. During the assault of Fortress Adar, you were saved from certain death by the platoon sergeant, who was slain in the action and posthumously awarded the Mobian Star of Valor. It wasn't that you didn't get out of the way for the passing magistrate. It was that you didn't get out of the way quickly enough. That alone was enough to earn a one-way trip to the prison ship, the Tancred Bastion. You are aboard the Tancred Bastion en route to Atama Prime. Confirm and play the prologue. All right. That... To err is to invite retribution. To question is to doubt. Gird thyself with the Emperor's light. Victory belongs to the Emperor. Do not shy the hopeless fight for endeavor as its own reward. Keep the faith. Kill the foe. There's no being so foul as the traitor. Okay. Space Marine also did that too, and that is excellent. We don't need tooltips. We don't need hints or anything. Just give us world-building quotes.
Prisoners all secure, ma'am.
I'll check for myself if you don't mind.
Of course, ma'am. But do be wary. Every one of them's a filthy heretic.
See, okay, like, they cover this, like...
That one certainly is.
All prisoners are bad. No, he just looks like a ghoul.
Keep him intact. No accidents. My master wants to interrogate him as soon as we reach the Hive.
Of course, ma'am. Upon my life.
I'm pretty sure we just watched, like, the same people walk in the background.
This one, however...
Makes you wonder why we even bother shipping trash like that. Save a lot of data slate work just to process the execution notice now.
What do you say, criminal? Shall I put you out of your misery?
And ours, you worthless.
Be quiet. Well...
Yeah, you're not adding to the conversation,
nothing
sir.
to say?
This is a mistake. I am a loyal servant of the throne.
But of course, I'll just let you out now then.
Shame you'll never get to prove that.
Give me a chance. You never know.
We're boarded!
Counterfire now!
Oh, is this, like that moment in the Two Towers? Oh no, my jail cell that was holding me.
Come with us, brother. We have a way out.
Also, actually, a very Grand Theft Auto 3 situation.
The boxers will be here to feed soon enough.
In which you get out simply because people are trying to save the other person being transported with you. My shovel.
Support request urgent. Traitor assault. We need assistance in cell block 87 now.
Ship's
Hello.
boarded. Convict or not, I've a duty to the Imperium.
Okay, yeah, that fits. Just because they're threatening to execute me, like, I still am loyal to the God Emperor. Oh, the Emperor! Hold on. How does sprinting... Interesting stamina bar. Big swing, little swing, but swinging and not hitting, at least, doesn't occupy stamina, which is good. I'm sure if I actually hit something...
Fragging Poxwalker.
Damn Poxwalker! No, that still doesn't occupy stamina. I'll block. Them carking Poxwalkers. Excellent. Escape the cell block. We can do that. We believe in ourselves and dreams and such. Hello. Don't mind me. This is where the heretics are
Don't reckon
contained.
much to the security on this ship.
I need armed and response teams in the Block 87 Bay area. Left it down and there's no end to them.
Hold on. Let's see if we can change something. Profanity filter? We don't need that. Always dodge. Weird. I was wondering, like, if there was a way to kind of, like, reduce your, like, I feel like a lot of first-person games emphasize, like, your sway a little bit too much. Hello. You seem dead. Like, this isn't as bad as Fallout 76, where that game is, like, dizzying. I should have tried blocking first, actually. Hello.
Training shining. Good to know.
Yeah, still can rely on your skills with a shovel.
Reinforcements. Security stations are overrun. We'll have to hold them in prisoner containment.
Now, can I get a gun? Or do I still have things to learn in regards to my melee experience? We have hit things. We have charged hit things. We have blocked and hit things. Actually, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to raise the brightness. Can I? Is a security checkpoint going to let me? No, that's fine. It's like, oh, you're a prisoner with a shovel? Good enough. Right now, at least. Hello. And then more of these poxwalkers. Is that like the technical name for them? Or is there another name for these
Need to
ghouls?
reach a different deck. Hope that elevator's still working.
It's too bad there are no Spice Marines around to save the day. They have to rely entirely on escaped convicts with shovels. Shoot! Shoot! I'm sure we're going to reunite with Zola at some point, and then Zola would be like, hey, I suppose you are loyal to the throne. We probably shouldn't just kill you outright. Oh, is that the... Is Zola dead? Is that a knife? I was expecting to see her alive, but you know, that might have been more than I should have expected in this universe.
Great. You come for blood too, criminal? You said you were a loyal servant of the throne.
For the Emperor.
I did.
Okay, so this actually does present, instead of just doing something. Like not killing her. Sorry, Zola.
Stormraptor, urgent extraction requested. The traitors have overrun the ship.
Confirmed. Stormraptor inbound.
I'm giving you a chance. Cross me and you're dead. You understand, criminal?
Yes, ma'am.
Yep, got it. Are you... Okay, I was gonna say, are you villains or allies? But then I don't have to worry about that. Press Y. Alright. Alright, but you do see your character a pretty good amount in these cutscenes. Okay, I just had to check whether this was a automatic weapon, and I just wasn't using it correctly. But no, it is semi-automatic. Is this the way I'm supposed to be going? Oh.
You're actually not bad at this.
I'm not terrible.
Militarum training for ya.
Still remember my training.
Come on!
Is that our destination? The Storm Raptor. Interesting how there's like a little bit of that like sniper flash before a ranged enemy shoots at you. It's a nice little bit of warning in the gameplay. Hello?
Susie, get us the hell out of here!
Stand by, Zola. The guidance is out. I need a minute to recalibrate.
Great.
Let's give them a welcome they won't survive.
Yes, we will give them a welcome they deserve. One bullet at a time.
More of them coming in.
I forgot that the music in this game is absolute bangers. Like all of it. Although, like, I feel like a lot of the lighting and the color grading choices make a lot of the bad guys just kind of blend in with everything else. Like, everything just kind of looks the same color in this light. Oh.
Susie, you done anything?
That was pretty awesome.
Still alive out there?
I'm going to have to remind myself about the soundtrack to this game. Am I invited on your ship?
You coming or not?
Yeah. You got space for a criminal?
You helped me. Maybe I can help you. No promises. You'll probably wind up dead.
If I stay on the ship, I'll probably wind up dead.
Almost did anyway.
Very poetic. Just don't tell anyone I let an escaped prisoner save my life. Or you'll be more than dead.
Deal.
Let's get the hell out of here.
There can be no victory without conviction. There is no fear in conviction. Revel in the destruction of the Emperor's foes. Alright, and that's something that Vermintide 2 especially didn't necessarily have that much of. Like, each mission had its own specific story.
From now until you're no longer of use to us. Report to the Strategium at once. And don't make me regret sparing your life.
Now, I'm told that this hub area is way too big for its own good. That is what I've heard. Alright, we'll just go to the Strategium.
Ah, so the next step before we can...
Is this kind of no-oper the best we can recruit these days?
Yes.
This one could be useful. Claims to be a loyal servant of the throne.
Sounds great.
This
I'm
is...
Sergeant Major Morrow. You're fresh meat. Mission briefings come through me. Let's see what you can do.
Oh, thanks for
All
the
right.
warm...
Get to the Psychonium.
The Psychonium. For...
So far, so good. Next up, you'll
Hello?
report to Stephanie at the Psychonium for additional training. Take my advice. Don't stare. She doesn't like it.
See, now you've just told me to
The
stare.
new recruit explicated Zola spoke of. If I'm honest, and I am seldom otherwise, I am not impressed. No wonder she recommended you for further training.
Thanks. I'm glad you believe in me. Oh, hello.
Welcome to the meat grinder. Everything here may feel real, but don't worry, you won't get hurt. Not unless you anger Persephone. Don't be alarmed by my little puppets, but do shoot them, or hit them, a lot, with whatever weapon takes your fancy. They
Some
will
extra
feel it.
tutorial
They're
for my
not
tutorial.
real. They exist only so that you can learn more about me and about the weapons you carry. Stay as long as you like. Stephanie likes the company and the taste of your bloodlust.
This is an amazing image, by the way. Like that shot of Stephanie in the background. Let us go to the Psychonium!
Another feeble-minded blunt for Stephanie to mold.
Basic training is a must for any operative. It grants access to the mission terminal and your standard issue war gear. The strength of humanity is the Emperor. Seek not justice, but vengeance. Avenge mankind. Knowledge brings us closer to annihilation. Praise the Emperor. Curse his foes.
This is the Psychonium, a place of torture.
So dry.
I mean, training. Shall we start?
Ah,
You
sure.
can chain light or heavy attacks in any order. Chained attacks have different angles of attack and damage properties.
I'm probably not going to pay too much attention to that, but let's find out. Like you... Alright, I can... It doesn't really feel like I'm chaining heavy attacks together. It just feels like I'm doing multiple chained attacks in
Some
series.
weapons have a powerful special attack. Others have a special ability that changes their next attack.
Excellent.
Pushing can stagger groups of enemies.
Oh.
Pushing
All right.
requires stamina. Grenades can be equipped and thrown. Each class has access to different grenades.
A little bit short range in the throw.
Your combat ability massively increases gun handling and damage for a brief time.
So overkill in the soldier classes in Mass Effect.
Dodging allows you to evade range fire and melee attacks.
Dodge to the left. Dodge to the right. Ah. I feel like the game was helping me there, which is not very
Enemy
useful.
attacks initially damage your toughness. Once your toughness is broken, they damage your health. Additionally, enemy attacks will stagger and stun you if you have no toughness.
Shoot me! Do it!
Killing enemies in melee replenishes toughness. Each nearby teammate also grants toughness regeneration.
Oh. With squad coherency.
That marks the end of basic training. You are now ready to serve. Should you wish to further hone your knowledge, you can undertake advanced training.
Alright, we're gonna do more training
Use armor-piercing weaponry and attacks to damage
because I don't think I'm gonna
armored
have enough time to do another mission today.
You can perform a unique follow-up attack after a push.
Hold RT, follow up. Hold. Oh, it's that straightforward. All right, I like it.
Medipacks and ammo crates can be picked up and deployed to aid your team.
Okay, it looks like you can only kind of carry one crate of any kind.
Downed
No!
teammates can be helped up. Incapacitated teammates
Narvast,
are captured by the enemy,
you were so
but
young.
can be rescued. Corruption is caused by certain attacks, items, or being downed. Corruption reduces maximum health. If you are downed when the last segment of your health bar is corrupted, you are incapacitated and captured.
So it kind of like plays up the idea that you only have so many deaths before you lose, per se. We've accepted the Emperor's mercy of death. Can you remove corruption? Alright, health can be restored and corruption cleansed at Medicaid stations. Medicaid have limited use indicated by glowing lights. Oh, hello.
Dangerous enemies can be tagged to alert your team. World markers can be placed to help coordinate your team's
I want to say
tactics.
this was a thing that was actually introduced in Apex.
Sniper!
Like, if you just give, like, a basic button you don't necessarily need.
Enemy spotted!
Sprinting helps avoid range fire. Crouching while sprinting performs a slide. Sliding helps evade attacks, similar to dodging. Closing with ranged enemies forces them to stop shooting and engage in melee combat.
All right. I think he's dead, Jim.
When ranged enemies are shot at, they flinch, becoming suppressed. Suppressed enemies try to take cover and will not fire back. Enemy ranged attacks cause suppression, making it harder to land accurate shots.
Oh.
Get out of the line of fire to restore.
So that might be why you'd actually choose to use cover. Oh.
This marks the end of your advanced training. You now know everything you need to survive Tertia.
Excellent. Sharpen your mind to hate. The man who has nothing can still have faith. Hunt the mutant. Kill the mutant. Take no comfort. There is none. We have inventory. You can now create custom war gear sets for your character. Loadout, cosmetics, and talents will be stored. But we only have, like, the standard issue shovel. And the standard issue infantry laser gun. Do we have any cosmetics? They are all locked. What can we get from the commissary?
You're wanted in the Sanctum Dictatis. Seems the Inquisitor wants to take a look at you. Let's hope you don't disappoint.
Oh, I probably will. Extremely. The Inquisitor will be so disappointed. The Inquisitor will be like, what is this shit? I didn't know they stacked it this high. Where are you from? Urkon? I didn't know stacks of shit came from Urkon. Redacted by order of the Inquisition. Faith conquers all. The Emperor protects. Rejoice in repentance. Abhor the mutant. Abhor the Xenos. Trust only the Emperor. Faith needs no excuse. In Terra's light we serve. Praise the Emperor. Did you get all that? There will be a quiz.
I am Grendel. It is my honor to serve the God Emperor of mankind, and fight the darkness that contaminates the Imperium. The supreme power of the Holy Inquisition is mine to wield. Who am I? I'm a warrior. The hive world of Atoma Prime is a vital stronghold of Imperial power. No matter the darkness, no matter the racking storms of space, Atoma Prime must stand resolute. But a threat has come. The very darkness I am sworn to deny. Who am I? I have learned that Atoma is cast by the dark stain of chaos. Chaos is the arch-enemy of mankind. It is the damnation of the warp. It is everything I am sworn to oppose. Who am I? I'm a warrior! It can only be cast out by the light of the throne and the scourging touch of flames. Who am I? I'm a warrior! As an instrument of the Inquisition, and no matter the risk to body and soul, I will purge the hive from top to bottom, and cut out every scrap of darkness I find. Who am I? I'm a warrior!
Does he? I'll take your word on that one. Why am I picking up a controller? Can I get something besides my prison rags? Like...
So now you know what's at stake. The Inquisitor clearly thinks you have what it takes, and as you've come through all that unscathed, Tertium shouldn't hold too many terrors for you. Report to the mission terminal for your first assignment.
Can I do things? View penances. So my accomplishments. What do you guys do? I'm guessing I can't buy anything yet because I haven't unlocked that ability. Let's take a look at the mission terminal just to see what we're getting into.
Found your way to the mission terminal, did ya?
Yeah.
Guess that means I can't have you executed. Not yet. This is the heart of the operation. Your best friend if you want to stay in my good books. Atoma's in trouble. No two ways about it. The only hope we have in this mess lies in us sending our strike teams where they're needed. Making a difference wherever we can. For as long as we're still breathing. No guarantees on that last bit, by the way. So, ready to be a hero? Then think again. You're a reject. Fight like it.
Okay, there is a lot going on this screen. We'll take a look at this next time. For now, what What does that timer mean? Like how much time you have to join that specific, like, mission? Why are the timers there? Queue times. Alright, I'm gonna have to take a look into some of this. For now, got any suggestions for something to play next? Leave them down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have yourselves a good night.
I hope you're rested, Reject, because I have a particular mission that requires your attention. We have a chance to reshape the course of the war, and only a brief window in which to pursue it. Gather your preferred strike team, assuming you have one fit to fight, and report to the mission terminal. The Emperor protects.